Some people they have this natural talent to inspire. They have this natural talent to lead, to find solutions. And
Fits all. So I have two questions to follow this up. One, who should come looking for mentoring or coaching? And two, what kind of people would you encourage to join these professions? You know, because we've already, sort of set out that it is not written in stone that, it's A, B, C, D, like how, if you want to become a lawyer, you have to do like 4 years in your G, and then you have to get the license from LDC. But it seems like mentoring and coaching are a little bit more flexible. So which person should come seeking for these services, and which person would you encourage to give these services? Coach Barry?
all right, a lot of interesting things I just learned from Murungi and from Chilie. And as you said, about coaching or mentoring or teaching or anything that looks like that, first it's about willingness. It's about acceptance, about desire of change. Because there's training, there's mentoring, there's coaching. If the client and the coach, have the desire to cooperate. If there's no desire to cooperate or acceptance, it should be difficult to exchange, it should be difficult to transfer the knowledge, it should be difficult to
Mhm.
transfer the value, and we will not have the result we expect. So it starts first by, a mutual cooperation between the two parts. Those who want to learn and those who teach, or those
Mhm.
or those who show the way or who guide. And the second thing is that coaching is so diverse that everything depends on what the client really needs. If the client is in the business sphere, so the exigencies of the objective will be different. If it's in the life sector, if it's in a more specific, part, it should be different. So it's about the vision, it's about the needs, it's about the problem itself, and in a more, conceptual way. And it's about also the person in front of you, because about coaching or about mentoring, we talk with people, we talk with human being. So it's about with whom you are talking, what is the history, what is the present, and what can be the future of that person. So what that person is facing currently, so how I might be able to help that person. Because coaching is not only saying what we learn, as a coach, and try to talk about conceptual things, about difficult, ways to deal with things, kind of special programs of solution we can bring. No, it's more about the person, about how you can understand the person in front of you, understand the problem, understand the necessity to change, understand what that person is facing, and how you can, by what you say, or financially, or by knowing someone who can help, but how you can bring something positive, that person, after talking with you, can feel relief, can feel a satisfaction, can feel better inside her body or his body, and can shine and share this light with other people. It's more about that. That's why coaching is not only about uh, sharing the information, but it's about really, you know, looking or seeking for human change, human transformation, and and it's more than that. And about becoming a coach, uh, you know, it's depend on the people. It depends. Some people they have this natural talent to inspire. They have this natural talent to lead, to find solutions. And for this, like a small example, I remember at the really beginning, when I started to coach people, I wasn't so confident like now. I remember talking in front of people, and I was trying to think and try to remember some what I learned, what what I saw other people do. And when people come to and talk with me, I saw something different. When they talk with me, they don't talk to the coach. They talk to their brother. They talk with
Mhm.
someone they listen, someone with they have confidence, someone who can understand them and say something that is valuable to them. And I understood that it's it's more about when you have that
Connections.
natural talent to understand others, to change that into something positive. When you have the information, you're like someone who receive informations, positive or negative, and then inside your mindset, your body, your intellect, you change it and transform into something positive, then you give back to the person. So this is where the natural talents come. And also other coaches can have uh, acquisition skills by going into some special organization,
Mm,
attending some special classes, having some certificates. Those certificates helps, of course, because they show you as a professional. But it's for me, I think it's not about the certificates themselves. It's more about what you can do on the ground, because it's the results, the outcome really happens on the battlefield. So when you are in front of people, it's not about the certificate. You can say I earned 9,000 certificates, but what can you do? So this is the real question. What value can you bring on the table? And how can you change people's life? Because it's about changing people's life and looking for how they can become their best version. Thank you.
that is true. What you talk about. Um, I think I've also felt a bit like that during my coaching sessions. Like people come to you because they trust you. They feel they've already sort of have a connection with you. So from that connection, they feel they can be vulnerable with you. And then from that vulnerability, you guys are able to connect and then move on this journey together. So I think mentoring and coaching are similar, but also different. And one of the major differences I've personally felt is that, as Coach Barry said, there has to be some sort of kindred soul kind of, uh, you like in Coach Barry, I vibe with Coach Barry. I think he can help me with moving from point A to point M, some sort of something like that. Well, for mentoring, I think even you can actually mentor someone from afar by they'll just look at you like, okay, so they did A, B, C, D, and they got here. I think I can also do the same without ever meeting the person. And I think one of the ways people can get mentoring is through books. You read about someone's life and you're like, ah, so they did this. I can, I should also try that, you know. Or like as Coach Barry said, one of his mentors is actually Les Brown. I don't know. Have you met him before?
I never met him, but
You've not met him before, but I'm sure he's your mentor because you follow him, you see how he's doing things, and you're like, oh, okay, so I can also maybe try this, try that, try the other. While for coaching, it really has to be, for lack of a better word, intimate, on a way that someone can easily come and tell you, and then you can really help them, shine that light inside out. Okay, so thank you so much, gentlemen, for helping us try to understand these two aspects. So I don't know about well done. Do you mentor both girls and boys, or it's
Yes, so we do mentor boys and girls. So I work actually for a team of around 30
okay?
people that we're working with very, very diverse backgrounds, living in different countries, and yeah, so whenever we go into school, as I mentioned before, we haven't really got to that level of doing the individual mentorship or one-on-one mentorship with students, because obviously that would need a lot of resources in terms of human capital, right, to be able to actually match students to each student to a specific mentor. So right now we're still doing very, very general mentorship, either bringing specific people in specific careers to talk to the students and all that. But generally, yeah, we do. But always, whenever we have our events, we try to be as gender sensitive as possible, so that there is comfort from either boys or girls. But yes, so we focus mainly. We don't look at the gender, but we focus mainly on the stage in their life, in their academic career, and that is high school.
Well, the reason why I asked the question is when it's all said and done, boys and girls, men and women have different needs, have different challenges. And I wanted to ask, in your mentoring and in your coaching experience, what are some of the outstanding strengths or weaknesses you felt in both, both people, you know? Like, what are those things? Because well, I'm not really uh, mentored men or boys, but I have a brother, I have young cousins, and I can see like the girls or the ladies in this age group are definitely different from the gentlemen in this age group. So I would like you to, highlight a bit what are some of the differences you felt among the women, the men, the boys and girls on these journeys, and how what are some of those things that you've decided, okay, I think this maybe works much better for these people, this you have to change your approach to help this kind of person. Over to you, gentlemen. Maybe
Oh,
Coach Barry can go first.
right. So, in my coaching activities, I have girls and boys, clients, let's say men
Men
and
and
women.
women.
Yeah, because but it's open to anyone. So of course we have a limit of age, but it's really open to anyone, and and from different backgrounds, from different cultural backgrounds too, and professional, and uh, let's say that the coaching process is based on people. It's more than individual than group coaching. Maybe if it's for example it's in the business field. For example, employees of companies want to acquire some new skills. In that time, it's more specific. It's different. But when we talk about life coaching, for example, someone come and tell me, okay, Coach Barry, here's my problem. So how can we resolve it together? So it's more the relationship, of course, is personal, and but it's also professional because we have to put the line between being professional and also being kind of connect, be more closer to our client because sometimes it's we have to deal with that. And with men, it's easier because we have to. It's kind of easier, and but sometimes with women, it's depend on the morality of the coach because I hear some complaints about some coach who really couldn't put the right line between being professional and stepping into the personal life of the client. So you have to be able to really put the difference between that. So this is till far I can, you know, do my coaching activity, but I have to respect the privacy. I have to respect the personal life of my client, man or woman. So whatever the background, whatever the professional activity, and also we should have kind of secret about what is said. So it should never go outside. So you should never talk about what your client said. That's why we trust is very important and in the process because without trust there's no coaching. Without trust,
Mm,
we cannot talk, we cannot share. So it's important to really have that trust. and between your client and your coach. And some of specific problems, I saw one between the woman and man who were my clients. It's really depend on people, because I met really amazing people, amazing boys, amazing men, amazing women, and I will insist on amazing women, because and in Africa, and not only in Africa, and also around the world, you know women are really inspiring. They have that ability to really understand things, and to really organize multiple and complex things at the same time, and still find the right solution, the right way to deal with that. Sometimes they just need a guide. Sometimes they just need someone who will just listen to them. It happens sometimes that I have nothing to say, because already the person has the skill, has everything, knows exactly where the person she wants to go, but she just needs someone who can listen to her, or someone who can just validate the process, say this is good, we can continue, we can go on the next level. So it's really happened sometimes like that. And
Mm,
we have also a problem in our societies, is depend on the society, like in Asia, or in Africa, for example. The place we put to men and women is quite different. Sometimes, in some families or education, because all families are different, but in
mm,
some families or in some society, we put more value, more responsibilities to men according to different criteria. I'm not going to enter, because I don't want to receive any call after. But then, and we tend to put less responsibilities to women. But now it's changing, because a lot of women are really doing amazing things that even men, cannot do. And also in different sectors. Besides being a coach, I'm a mining engineer, and I know many, girls and women who lead mining companies, better than men, even in managerial system, and in many kind of activities too. So this is also about uh, what we learn from our families, about the mindset from our backgrounds. And when we grew up with those mindset too, and we grew up with those realities, and it's really reflects sometimes in our decisions, and how we live our life. So I remember I coached one girl, PhD student from Ivory Coast, and she told me, Coach, I have a personal problem with my family, because in my family, uh, they don't consider me. It's like I don't have some importance, some value. But as myself, I'm a PhD student. I'm an intellectual girl. I have a business. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm inspiring people. For other people outside, really rely on me and knows my value, my worth. But once I'm inside my family, I have to follow the system. I have to stay, under, or I have to follow my elders. And I know sometimes it's difficult. So what can I do? So it was her problem. So as a
mhm.
coach, I have to figure out a way to show her she has a value. She really doing something amazing. But also I have to be careful, that I don't create any problem for the family too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's why sometimes it's difficult as a coach to really uh you know set propose a way, or a guide your client. But as the coaching, it's not something we just do today at the same time. It's a process. So we have to really understand and put some frameworks, put some ideas, some ways, some solutions according to the client and according to the needs, in order to really find a solution that will fit and that will change, the realities.
Hmm. That is quite interesting, yeah? Uh, Not just gender, it's tied to also our African norms. Therefore, comes with a lot of different. intricacies in there. What about you, Weldon? What have been some of the differences that you have felt
Yeah,
between
I
the
think.
girls and the boys?
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Murungi. I think Barry mentioned something also that I was thinking a lot. It's about cultural backgrounds and cultural expectations, societal norms as well, right? That puts on both boys and girls, right? And I think in terms of talking with the young people, I think where they come from matters a lot. What kind of family situation they come from matters a lot, because at the end of the day, there are situations where when you look at both boys and girls, they're kind of very different in how they are thinking, and how actually to motivate them would be quite different, right? For some of the girls, not all of them, obviously, depending on where they come from, where probably um, they maybe their families or their society don't necessarily put a lot of effort in terms of educating girls, and so you get to interact with these students who don't necessarily look into the future with a lot of hope. But so what we need to do in this kind of, so first of all, you have to learn who you're speaking to. You have to learn who your mentees are, right? What are the unique challenges that they are facing? As Coach Barry mentioned, that some of them just need someone to talk to, right, and someone to listen to, but some of them just need someone who can look up to, like someone who have
Yeah.
already broken that ceiling, right, in where they come from, and that can be a very, very key motivating factor for them to continue doing what they do, and probably putting a lot of effort in their studies. Boys on this other side, I think, yeah, obviously there is a lot of expectations from the society, right, and that tends also to put them under a lot of unnecessary pressure. So we also try to look at what exactly do they need, what kind of a person do they need to be their mentor, right? So you don't just trust someone or just put someone because they are a mentor. You look at all those kind of unique differences that the students do have, and these can be very, very different from one place to the other. So it's not like something that you would say as a coach or as a mentor, then we're actually putting you in charge of these schools. You have to look at all those kind of things, and obviously for you to know what kind of needs the students have, we collaborate a lot with the institutions where they are learning, whether it's the teachers and all that, and these are the people who actually provide you with a lot of insights on the needs themselves. So that is how we go about it. Yes, so we don't necessarily have, so it depends on the situation. There are some of the places where some of the schools who are doing really, really well, and they have already programs that are running that brings to students to a different level, and therefore when you come in there as an organization that is providing mentorship, you start from a very, very different level, whereas some of the schools you start from ground zero, basically, so to say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, in both mentoring and coaching, when it comes to perhaps gender, which shouldn't be such a very, like, in the here and now, we cannot not talk about gender. But we can see that African norms and societal expectations eventually impact the needs of the different genders. So, gentlemen, I have learned so much from you. I have truly, truly enjoyed this session. Before we close, I would like, what are your last words to our viewers, to our listeners, about coaching, about mentoring, maybe about themselves, to sort of wrap this up, perhaps why they should seek out mentoring, why they should seek out coaching, or why they should join these things, or, you know, why they should be more receptive, perhaps also. So what are your last words, gentlemen?
Okay, great. So first of all, thank you very much, Mongi, for having us today. I think it's been a very interesting conversation, and I've learned a lot from Coach Barry as well. In as much as coaching goes, but for the viewers and yeah, especially the youth, I think sometimes we tend to think that we know so much, about either ourselves or about where we are in life. And when you interact with other people, when you interact with mentors and basically your peers, you tend to realize that there are so many things that you don't know and so many things that you need guidance on. And therefore, personally, I learn each and every day. I interact with so many people in the process of even maybe going through or organizing some of the events. We have guest speakers and all that, and I personally learn a lot. And I would definitely want to encourage everyone else out there to be open-minded, be open to trying new things, be open to seeking people to help you along the way. There are people who have gone through the journey. You may not necessarily go through the same journey from point A to point B, but looking at through this person's experience can actually help you probably do things in a very different way than you could do if you didn't probably meet that person. So my definite my encouragement is that it makes your journey much more easier to have to kind of, I think a lot of people say that there's this thing that when I look back, I can be able to connect this to this point, right? And some of those things you may not be able to tell where you are sitting, but if someone else would give you their own life story, then that would definitely change how you look at things and changes the decisions that you make in life. And I would definitely encourage that. So be ready to probably look for mentors or look for coaches, and I think your life would be much would not remain the same. It would be much more easier.
Mhm. Okay, Coach Barry.
Right. First of all, I will say thank you very much because today, as my brother Celia said, I learn a lot. I learn a lot. You know, learning, we all time learn. You can be a coach, you can have 10 years of experiences, you will still learn something. Doesn't matter. So we still learn. So it is the the ability to learn anytime and from everywhere you are and with anyone is very important. So when you master that ability to learn, you know, many things will appear in front of you. Maybe you couldn't notice before. So something will change. And about learning is more about listening to, because you know we like to speak too much, but we don't want to listen. For example, this uh, event happened successfully because we all give each other the ability, the time to speak and the time to listen. So in real life, it's also the same. We have to listen. You may find a lot of solutions when you listen a lot, but if you don't listen, you don't find solutions. And the other advice I'm going to give to the viewers and listeners is that, you know, whatever the problem you face, it's important to know that you're not alone, because many of us we don't change, or we the problems become more and lead us to many consequences and bad outcome, because we think that we are alone on the process, we are alone in the journey, that no one will understand us, no one will really uh, give us the right answer or the right reply. So you're not alone. You just need to find the right person. That's why we have coaches, that's why we have mentors for that. Also be careful to whom you explain about your problems, because not everyone will lead you to the outcome you want. So you have to be able to understand that I can know that person, and that person can understand me, and I can really find a solution with that person. And the final advice I'm going to say is that whatever the problem you are facing, or whatever the objective or the aim you want to achieve, everything starts with one step. So you have to take the first step, do the first action, be resilient, stay motivated. On the way, you will face many problems and difficulties, but never give up. Just go. If you cannot find the solution yourself, talk with people, talk with coaches, talk with mentors, talk with your elder brothers, talk with your best friend, talk with someone, even sometimes someone who doesn't understand you, talk with that person. You will also understand another way to see things. So it's about sharing, it's about love, it's about understanding, it's about acceptance, and it's about taking the right step and being positive on the journey, and also enjoy the journey and the activities. thank you very much for the invitation. I'm not going to finish by saying that you can contact me through my website, www.barryibrahim.com, for any coaching activities or any kind of thing you want. And, I will always be able to respond you, whatever the distance and the country or the continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And I think for me, all you've said, I've just thought about one of the greatest African proverbs that we have. If you want to go fast, go alone. You'll go fast. But if you want to go further, you must go together. So,
Sure.
gentlemen, thank you so much, and hope to catch you on other platforms with other discussions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, and I hope whoever is listening to us, you perhaps at least understood the difference between mentoring and coaching, why it's important, why you might need to seek it out, or why you as an individual perhaps you should get into it either as a mentor or a coach, and try to you know this is something that our continent needs to move forward. And to the people who are back home, who are listening, who are watching, reception, let's all try to work together. And also, there are people who are going back home or who are in the diaspora. Let's also be mindful of how we put our ideas across without, coming off as condescending. So, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you. Have a lovely day.